Alright guys, and welcome back to the Don's channel. I am the Donfather and this is hashtag AFL Chair Chat. That's right, I've made this a hashtag and I do not apologise for one single second. No apology whatsoever, and there never will be one. So this is hashtag AFL Chair Chat. Car chat's had a little bit of a break recently. I think that's about 3 or 4 days I've not done a car chat. So for anybody that loves the car chat, I apologise for that, for not doing the car chat, but I hope you'll enjoy the chair chat. Today's topic is Jason Dunstall, an absolute legend of the sport. Of course, played VFL. Don't know if it changed into AFL when he was still playing, but old school player, an absolute legend, as I said. Played for the Hawthorn Hawks. I don't know if he played for anybody else. I don't think he did. I think he spent his career, most of his career anyway, at the Hawks, where he was an unbelievable goal kicker. I think he had close to 1250 kicks, 1,250. That stat could be wrong, so if it is, I apologise. First of all, I am going to do a reaction of some of his career highlights. There's not many long enough videos to make it go, like say 9-10 minute videos where you can watch loads of his stuff. There's loads of little videos, so I've identified one I might do and do a little bit of a brief insight into him as well, so I hope you'll enjoy that. That'll come somewhere in the not too distant future. But anyway, he does a show. He's part of a talk panel as well, where he does he talks about things that have been happening in the game, certain types of kicking, just little incidences that are happening in matches. And he goes on crazy rants. He's an absolute nutcase. He's going crazy. Who told him to kick it like that? He'd give it the old slider across the ground, and he absolutely despises this. See, if you're going to kick it, don't kick it across the ground, because what you're doing is you're putting a danger of somebody either getting a foot or a hand to it, touching it before it goes over the line, and then you're not getting the 6 points. So he's all for putting height into it, putting power into it, and leaving there no doubt that you're going to get the 6 points. So anyway, they're quite funny. If you haven't seen him, check out Jason Dunstall going crazy in the studio, talking about different things. He's doing it for effect, really. He's not angry, but it is comedy. It is good watching. He seems like a pretty good banter anyway, and a genuine person. But then I've now watched Open Mic with Mike Sheehan, and to be fair, I've said a couple of little negative things about Sheehan in the past. You might be aware of that if you've watched a couple of my videos. I don't dislike the guy. I just saw certain things, I think the way they were delivered, the way he said them, could have been done and dealt with a little bit better. But as I said, I didn't dislike the man. I don't dislike the man. But this interview definitely made me warm to him a little bit more. He does ask questions, not necessarily to get under the skin of the person he's interviewing, but kind of to dig more information out of them as well. There was loads of questions from the past that I really enjoyed listening to. His take, he actually says, Dunstall says, he doesn't really have an awful lot of memory of footy from the past. Whether he was playing or whether it was games that he was involved in, his memory's not that great on it. He tends to just focus on the future, the way the sport is right now, currently, and the future direction it's going in. So he's absolutely obsessed with the sport, completely passionate about it, as am I, as you can tell by the way I'm talking. But one of the things I was finding quite interesting, because what I've been doing on my channel is doing a lot of the... Why did I first fall in love with the sport? Because it's a very physical sport, and contact sports need to be physical. First and foremost, that should be an absolute necessity. I absolutely guarantee that a contact sport is a physical sport, and there's no real physical sport like the AFL. The sheer speed they go in at each other, you can be tackled from all angles. I mean, there's big hits, bumps, there's huge jumps. I mean, it's a physically demanding sport, and you need to be very, very fit. So it's quite interesting to hear him talking about the olden day player back in the 80s and 90s, where you would have, if you were beat to a ball, somebody maybe left one in you in the back of the head or the top of the head, or put the elbow in, something kind of off ball when they're not with the ball, just subtle digs, not something that's involved in today's game because of huge fines and suspensions that could cost your team. So they've slowly but surely kind of filtered this stuff out in order to keep it purer and all about the footy and less about the aggressive stuff, which by no means makes the sport less physical or takes out any of the contact from the sport. Not at all. It just takes out the more violent side of the sport. It takes away the kind of enforcers that I loved watching in my videos that I've done. I'll continuously watch them as well, because there's some great stuff from the past. Some legends of the game had a little bit of a crazy tilt switch that could just go from like 0 to 100 in a matter of a second. Bang, straight in, smack. Don't even think about it. Hit first, think later. Kind of a mentality which we all love, but at the same time, you can see why they've tried to phase it out. But the reason why I says it was quite interested in listening to him in this, because he says, to be fair, they've got rid of the kind of violent side of it, but he reckons the modern game's more physical. And it's down to how athletic the guys are, how quick they are. They're probably stronger in some regards as well, because of the way they're looking after their bodies. It's a professional job. They're probably eating the right foods, where as opposed to the past, they probably drank quite a lot, partied more, didn't really eat the right foods, maybe eat burgers and fries and all the rest of it. Whereas today they're eating the right foods, they've got the right recovery, they've got the right physios, masseuses, just everyone working to keep that guy, somebody who's just played a game, fit and ready for the next game. And that means looking after your body as well, in order to keep them at physical peak performance. And his take on it is he reckons they're maybe even hitting harder, which is probably quite true. That I can see it that way in a lot of sports, because it's a professional job now, because they're putting a lot more time and effort into certain different things. The game is evolving, the sport is evolving, our understanding of recovery and how to exercise the body is evolving as well. It's progressing, there's more education going into it. So the guys are physically finer tuned than what they would have been. It's not just brute force and ignorance as such. But one thing that still gets me thinking about the whole thing here is the big goal kickers from the past, your Dunstalls, your Plugger Locketts, Lee Matthews, people like this here, legends of the game of the past, seem to get a lot more goals than the modern day player. And a lot of people have maybe said to me, it's probably because people are fitter now, they're defending better, etc. So taking that into consideration, I agree with that to an extent, because maybe they're not getting as many opportunities to kick. But from the games I've watched, I do believe they've trained an awful lot more in their kicking accuracy, because from the players in the modern game, there's maybe not as much time to get the kick off as what there was in the past. Maybe that's a factor. They're getting closed in quicker by fitter players. I don't know. But the kicking standard in the past either was higher, or the defensive side of it wasn't as good, and it allowed them better time and space in order to make the kick. I don't know. But they did seem to have a higher kicking accurate, kicking goals to kicks basically ratio than the modern day player. But very, very interesting to talk interview that when he was talking to Mike Sheehan. I really enjoyed listening to him, and as I said, I'm going to look into him a lot more. Some people said that he wouldn't even be anywhere near the top of legends of the sport, but Mike Sheehan had him as number 5. Out of all-time players, he's number 5 in Aussie rules history. So that's his personal opinion. He's certainly, from what I've seen so far and the stuff that they had spoke about him and stuff that I've read, he's certainly up there. He's definitely top 5 from what I've seen so far. I've got other players to cover, but Dunstall is another player that will feature in the 1989 Grand Final. And I want to point out one thing to one of my subscribers who was really disappointed that I chose the video I chose. The reason I chose the video was because it was a shorter video to react to, and I wasn't aware when I done it. It was only Hawthorn highlights of the Geelong Hawthorn 1989 Grand Final. So apologies for that. So what I'm going to do is, there's a documentary, I think there's one that's about 50 minutes long, and there's one that's nearly a couple of hours long. I'll watch as much on the build up to this game. Obviously there's past matches between them that's been a bit hairy. There was big injuries in the first quarter as well to key players. Brereton, I think, broke a collarbone or something like that. He's broke ribs or something. As I say, I've not watched it. I need to do more looking into the grand final. And then what I'll do is, instead of doing a reaction video, I'm going to do a big review of the 1989 grand final between Hawthorn and Geelong, who did go on to have, of course, a huge rivalry with Geelong winning, was that something like 11 straight or something mental like that. And it was called the Kennet Curse. But that's me rabbited on enough. Dunstall is somebody I will feature for anybody who said, I've asked you to do him before, I've asked you to do him before. But I wanted to watch a little bit about him and get to know kind of the character. He is a bubbly personality. He does seem friendly. Mike Sheehan was trying to stir the pot a little bit by saying, did you have problems with this guy? Did you have problems with that? He's like, no, not at all. It's all for show. And he respects each and every player. He talked about players he's played with, who were the best players he's played it with, and best players he's played against. There's a few crackers out there as well that I recognise already. So if you haven't seen that interview with Mike Sheehan and him, do check it out. But anyway, thanks very much for watching my hashtag AFL chair chat. Greatly appreciated that you tune into these little chats. They're just a little bit of fun conversation to get me talking about the AFL with my Aussie brothers and sisters, because I love this sport and I want any opportunity I can to talk about it. And stay tuned for more reactions. And as I said, don't panic. I will be watching the documentaries on the AFL 98, or VFL, sorry, I keep calling it was VFL back then, 1989 grand final between Hawthorn Hawks and Geelong Cats. So I'm really looking forward to it, and it did feature Dunstall, didn't it? He did play that day as well, so that'll be interesting to see a little bit more of his stuff too. Thanks again, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and put the notifications bell on as well, and that'll alert you to any videos when we release them and you won't miss them. And check out a wee link I'm going to put in there. It's just a Just Giving thing where I'm doing fundraisers to fundraise money for our trips with the channel, to take our channel to Malaysia, Indonesia and Australia, where we'll be doing vlogs in and around the football grounds, the stadiums, in and around the touristy spots, seeing the country, just enjoying the place and doing it and taking videos of our time there, so you can see that as well. Thanks again, guys. I am the Donfather. Peace and goodbye.